Hello and welcome to Dreams of Wings, and I hope you are having a fantastic Sunday. This is another one of those completely unscheduled, suddenly find a bit of time to do a stream, so here we are. So apologies that there's no great kind of notification on this one, but hopefully we can have some fun. We've got a couple of hours or so, and we are here at Welshpool. I thought, why not? I did the video last weekend on the new burning blue design Welshpool, and it just looked like a really great area to do some HEMS flying in. There's plenty of variety around here in terms of scenery. So let's have a quick look. Go to the campaign map. So here we are at Welshpool, and then as you can see we've got the mountains here, we've got Snowdonia, we've got Shrewsbury, Telford over here, so there's some quite large towns. There's also the Royal Shrewsbury Hospital over here, where my late parents used to live next to, bless him. So I've seen the air ambulance go into there a few times. So I don't know where we're going to go because we are using the fantastic Davierosoft HEMS Random and Anywhere, or Random and Everywhere, because it's called two different things. On the website it's Random and Anywhere, but everywhere else it's Random and Everywhere. When I say the website, I mean flightsim.to. Let's get to the facts, boy. So as always, just a very quick recap. We have got the high performance group H145 helicopter. We have got the action pack expansion for that, which is what allows us to do missions in the first place. We have then got the Davierosoft Random and Anywhere mod, which, if you know it, if you've watched the videos before, you know how that works. If you don't, then it massively expands what you can do. Massively expands what you can do, and hopefully you'll get a taste of that in this stream if you've not seen that before. What else have we got? We've then got the Kekas or Kikas or Chikas sound pack with realistic radio effect audio, and you'll see what that's about as well when we get going. And also we've got the M. Gonzalez H145 sound enhancement pack, and of course burning blue design Welshpool. So if I just quickly, there's ducks. I should say, actually, let's come back to him. So there's Welshpool. Nice little picturesque airport, as you can see. It's also home to the Welsh Air Ambulance, although someone did say in the comments of the video that I made that apparently they're moving, possibly to Carnarvon, so you may not be able to see this here for a while, but I thought it's a good place for us to set off from. There's the Amazon Prime truck. I have got a delivery from Amazon today, so hopefully that's not mine, because he's gone to the wrong place, mate. This is only make-believe. There's Ducks for the Dog. Ducks for the Dog, I should say, is from Parallel 42's Camp Out. But of course, he is our squadron dog. He's been with us for some time now, and he loves to come along with us to these places and just sit there and drink. Why not? Okay, let me just catch up with a few things. I'm going to have a quick catch up with the chat because very rudely I haven't had a look at that. Oh wow, we've got quite a few in there. He says, hi, how you doing? Sparky, good to see you, mate. Hope all is good with you. Michael Sandman, good to see you. Florian M. Oh, hello. Could you give me an idea of how I could activate the HPG helis in 24? It's telling all the time I need to activate them. Right, has anyone else answered that? Yeah, Sandman, you're absolutely right. Florian, go to the HPG Discord. You have to. There's a couple of steps you have to do. It's really very simple, but it's a lot easier if you go to their Discord and read if you go to the pinned notes on the H145. There's full instructions on how you can get it going in 2024. As I say, very simple, but you've just got to follow those instructions. So have a crack at that, and that will solve all your problems. Sparky, are you using? Yeah, I'm using the alpha. I'm also using a. I was going to say actually, I'm using a test version, just to see how it works out. But it's a test version of the alpha. So worth having a look at seeing how that goes. The other thing I've also done is I've switched from DLSS back to TAA. I was just finding not so much on the helionic system, but on the pad, I was getting a little bit of ghosting. So we'll see how that goes, and I might switch back to TAA. Right, okay, so where are we? Falconer, how you doing? Oh, I should say actually, I am on the East Asia server, Southeast Asia server. Excuse me, have a sip of tea. Mouth is already drying up. There you go, pilot juice. Southeast Asia server, if you want to come along for a mystery tour, then please do. You won't be able to see the mission assets or take part in the missions, but at least you can fly along, and who knows where you are going to end up. Okay, right. Oh, the other thing I should say is this is a, how rude of me not to mention it. This is a repaint by Demo Designs of X-Ray Zulu 588, which was is a Royal Air Force Sea King. That one. It was based at RAF Lossiemouth. I have a tenuous... Well, I lived at Lossiemouth for some years back in the 80s. Used to see these helicopters and sat in one once and absolutely love them. So it's nice to be able to fly a tribute to one of these helicopters in the H145, and that Sea King is actually now owned by Historic Helicopters and operated by them. So you can actually go and see it, which I haven't done yet, but I certainly need to. Right, back in here. You can actually see, I can see the difference actually. TAA, DLSS is definitely a little bit smoother, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. As always, if you could do me a favour, people watching, people in the chat, every time I stream, the sound mix, even though the settings are the same, the sound mix seems to have changed a little bit. So if you find that the engine noise isn't loud enough, or the engine noise is too loud and you can't hear me, some might say that's not a bad thing, then please do give me a shout in the stream. Don't wait until an hour later and say, can't hear you, mate. Okay, right, so focus. Right, let's get the mission loaded up. So first of all, we go to maps and missions, funny enough. Get the click spot. Come on. There we go. And mission library, random and everywhere. See there, it's random and everywhere. On flightsim.to, it's random and anywhere, and here it's HEMS everywhere and random, and then we've got random and everywhere. So it keeps you on your toes. So this is the test, or a test alpha that we're using here. So let's go into that. Just let that load up. This is just telling us here that it's loading up. Time to take another sip of tea. Oh, that was too quick. There's Frank, our trusty ground crew. Actually, tell you what I will do. Let's turn this blooming camera off. You don't need to see me. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to slightly reduce that a little bit. Let's put it to there. Okay, that'll do. Don't want to be spending all the time flying. We want to see some action, so I'm going to leave that there. We're going to select single player. And something that I'm going to do, because I can now in this, is we're going to go to manual mission selection. I'm going to select search and rescue, because that's what these Sea Kings did. And what shall we do? Aircraft lost contact, missing hiker on mountain, missing climber, fallen from cliff, missing person reported 2 days ago, missing person disappeared 2 days ago in the wood. Let's do that one.
Hey, good morning all. Ready for the missions?
Select variant 1.
Hey Frank, good morning.
Good morning, Frank.
There we go. Right, so now that we've started, you do this first, then you turn on the battery in the helicopter. Let's get some lights on.
Hi, Captain.
Just to warn people we're firing up. That's so good.
Fuel tanks are almost full.
Turn the mission
if you need
radio on.
refueling, please ask.
Ah, that's interesting. That was something else I wanted
Thank
to.
You, Frank. Check.
I wanted to have a look at. So I'm going to
Ready to supply external power at your request.
cheat a little bit just so that we can do something. And I'm going to do that now before I start the mission. So let's come back to there. And I need to cheat. Let's come into here. Payload. So I'm going to go 25% fuel. So I've dumped it that way, but then I'm going to go back into maps and missions. I'm going to go to technical page and ground ops. Get the click spot. And so here we go. We've got the fuel truck, and I'm going to not sure if this will work. There we go. Fuel truck requested and on the way. So we've called for fuel. There he comes. Frank just a little bit embarrassed. They haven't let him drive the truck today. And there you see, I love that in the window. You've got that Andrew. That's Andrea, who is the guy. He's a real-world Airbus helicopter instructor, and he is the guy behind this free Random and Anywhere mod, and it's pretty damn amazing. Okay, so we're fueling up. On y va. Let's go back to here. So we've got that. That's all sorted. Now all I need to do is connectors, and we'll connectors that way. There we go. Press the button again, just get the click spot. There we are. That's connected. Missions come through. Accept dispatch. There we go.
Finalizing setup. Stand by a moment.
Let's have a quick check over here and see.
Due to impervious conditions of the accident site, we should evaluate to call on board expert heli-rescuers. Use the tablet to decide if we continue alone or if we take the heli-rescuers on board.
Of course we will. With the Royal Air Force, we do everything properly. Right, just checking the numbers there, checking the batteries.
Cabin
good for
secured. All set to proceed.
Okay, right. Operation complete. So we've got the fuel. We can end fuel operations. Thank you very much. She can go away. We can now. We are going to pick heli rescuer. So we'll have. We're going to have to pick up. So basically, what that is doing is that's going to. We're going to pick up a search and rescue. And I've just noticed you really want us to fly all the way to Crewe. I don't think so. That's quite a long way away, so I'm going to see. I wonder if I can amend that. I don't think I can modify pickup point. Let's have a look. I'm going to. Where could we go to? Well, I suppose that's actually where the... Yeah, that's the search area there. So it does actually want us to go all the way to Crewe. 37.2 nautical miles. Oh, to hell with it. We'll just have to do it. No, let me see. Reject position change. So what's happened there is the I wound the distance to mission in, but when it started the mission, it's a little bit further out. So, good God, it's Sparky. How are you doing, mate? I hope all is good with you. There's Sparky just in front there. Where's your helicopter, mate? Hey, he's got the 500. Nice. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to mess around. We will just have to. Oh, I do want to change that. I do want to change that. I'm just kind of... It wasn't quite the area I was expecting it to take us to. But I don't know. See, accident maximum range 24.74, but it's actually taking us out quite a bit further. Oh, to hell with it. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Okay. Right. That's all done. That's all done. We need to get the helicopter started now. So I think last time I did 2 once. This time I'll do 1,
Preparing for engine
2.
starting sequence. 1, 2.
There he goes. All the lads are in. We didn't see it because we were messing about, but the crew would actually have walked out from one of the buildings there.
Area clear. Ready to start engine 1.
Quick check that my... Yeah, that's down. Okay, let's go for start on engine 1. Engine 1 rising. Oil pressure rising.
GPU disconnected. Ready to go. Good day.
All good. Come on, Frankie boy.
Engine started successfully. Moving
All
to
good.
other engine. Engine clear.
So we'll go for engine 2 start. And one rising. Oil pressure rising. Everything's good here. Acknowledge all those. Startup test okay, so that's good. Everything's working as it should.
All engines started successfully.
Thank you, my good man. You have a biscuit. Right, prime pumps off, transfer pumps on.
Hold on. Performing leak checks.
I'll have that on. We'll have LAVCS to pilot. Pitot on. Everything else is fine. I'm going to put the strobe on at this point. Light's pretty good at the moment, so I'm not going to worry too much about instrument lighting, but that's all good to go. Right, let's get all these avionics stuff set up. I'm not going to be using the GTNs today because we're using the mission navigation.
TOS, system test okay.
Which reminds me we need to turn on the MSFS
all good.
source because then it will follow the mission navigation, so that's all good to go. And we can see here, if I go back to come on. So good. And if I come back to boof. Okay, Copilot is back on and we have an error because it's saying wait for Copilot to board again. He has actually boarded. He is there. This is one of the fun things about using a test. He is on the helicopter. There he is. There's his knee. Okay, let me think if there's a way I can trigger it to carry on. We might have to abort this mission and start a new one, which to be honest isn't such a bad thing considering where it wants us to go to. How can I'm going to cycle that because we have to do that anyway. No. He is there and it's saying that he needs to board, so we've got a block there. So what I'm going to do is we are going to have to start again. So I'm just going to take a quick screenie of that. There we go. Quick screenie of that. There we go. And let us start again. And who knows? Who knows what mission we will now get? Boof. I'll tell you what I'm going to do actually. I'm not going to select... I'm not going to actually select a... I'm not going to select a mission type this time. We've seen how that would work. I'm literally just going to do whatever it wants to do. So it's just cleaning everything up again. Crew are already on board, so we don't have to do that. I'm going to set our range there. We're going to go single player, and we're just going to take whatever it gives us. And this is one of the beauties of this, is that you can quite literally just see what it chucks at you, which is what for me makes it interesting, because you never know where you're going to go or what you're going to do. Meanwhile, helicopters all running nicely. Let's put it onto map. What I am going to do is I'm on this one. Actually, no, I'm going to leave it. Farm has been injured when his tractor tipped over. Not nice. We're going to accept that.
Finalizing setup. Stand by a moment.
There we go. So the chaps in the back are just doing their thing. They're getting their big tractor tipping over plasters ready. We just have to watch that cabin preparation is winding up. There we go. We've got a blue line now, which means we've got a connection.
All cabin tasks completed. Ready for departure.
Connection to where we're going. Symptoms: dizziness. I think if a tractor had tipped over on me, I would certainly be feeling a little bit more than dizzy. But these Welsh farmers are hardy stock. Okay, so that's all good. That's fine. Ooh, we need to do a bit of maintenance. Look at that IBF clog trend. Let's should have checked for that at the beginning. No doubt. There we go. If I can remember. Yeah, it's not that one, is it? I was there before. Set up. Options. Not there. I'm having suddenly having a mind melt. There we go. Aircraft damage. That's all good. Okay, God, it's been so long since I've had to do any repairs. I'm forgetting where to blooming go. Equipment. It's not there. It's there. Failures in maintenance, you idiot. Right, dual maintenance. There we go. That's what I mean by having a mind melt. This is what happens when you suddenly jump into a stream without any forward planning. Right, Bull Ramus. There we go in the lovely llama. I do like the llama. Okay, that's all good to go. We've got a distance there. That means that we have a connection to our I was going to say victim. A connection to our casualty. So that's all good. We need to turn on the SAS systems. Now, a real-world pilot told me that I had my view. So what I was doing was putting VMS up on here so I'd look at the engines, and he said, no, we don't do that. We have one screen on one and one screen on the other. So there we go. Hopefully that is more akin to what they are doing in the real life. He said if there's anything wrong with the helicopter, it will tell you. You don't need to have the VMS screen up all the time. Right, quick check. No warnings. That's all good. I have got the terrain warning on, so that might be a bit of a pain in the neck, but as someone said, whoever turns that off is the one who goes slamming into a mountain. Jesus, that's quite close. Okay. Wind is 27 knots, so it's quite strong and it's from behind, so this could be interesting. So what I'm going to do is lift, turn around, we've got another helicopter behind us, take off into wind and then come back round again. Interesting. A little bit of stuttering there. Seems to have gone. Wow, we got a lot up. Right, let's head into wind.
VTOS. VY.
head over. Can't really see it at the moment because of the way the helicopter's banked, but just over there. Where is this? There's Paris Castle. For all you castle enthusiasts. Watch the overtalk there. I say it every time, but whenever I stream, there's always something funny going on, and that occasional, it's more than a stutter, it's something else. I wonder if it's there's a bit of interference with my head tracking. I'll have to have a look. Okay, quick check. One of the other useful things, if you see over on the left there screen on the bottom, it says one on the way to the screen, so it will display the status of the connection with the rescue centre. So that there at the bottom is the last message that we sent to the rescue centre. Okay, let's have a look at that. I'm going to connect the autopilot. We're going to hook up with the nav. That's all working fine. That's connecting as it should do. Blooming marvellous. Right, let's have a look. See if I can see. I'm just going to bring up my head tracking sensor and just see if there's anything obvious there. Don't think so. All seems to be tickety-boo. Right, I need to quickly catch up on the chat. I just realised. Falconer, you don't have the S76, do you? I don't. I don't. To be honest with you, it's not a type I'm that interested in right now. That's not to say in the future I might not. But at the moment, I'm not too bothered about getting it. I don't have a huge amount of time at the moment to learn to fly new aircraft, so as I say, I may well, you know, if I get some more time at some point, I might have a look at it. But yeah, it's probably a little bit like I don't fly tube liners. I'm not massively into huge helicopters. Like, I've got the Chinook, but I rarely fly it. So I haven't at the moment. Great, how you doing? Good to have you here. I'm online, but I'm on the right server, but do not see you. What am I doing wrong? Well, let's have a quick check. Just reading down. Okay, Aces, are you still unable to see us? I think you posted that a while ago, so I'm not sure if you've managed to fix it now. Let's have a quick jump outside. Wow, quite a few. Got the MH60 there. You see, that's another one. I've got the MH60, but I just haven't flown it. There's Sparky. I love that 500. It's such good fun. It really is. In fact, it's the only helicopter at the moment that I'm flying apart from the H145. Whew, damn, it's getting hot in here. Yeah, Dread, I've got it, mate. I've done quite a few videos with it. It's like I was just saying, it's a beautiful helicopter. It's great fun. I did a video on the channel last week about why you should fly helicopters, and it was actually the 500 that I used in that. And just gave it as an example of a great way of learning to fly helicopters, because it gives you all the physics, it gives you everything that you gives you all the helicopter goodness that you could possibly want. Interesting that. I wonder if that is just so the last time I saw stuttering, but it was of a different kind. In this flight sim, it was because of wake vortex, and if you had wake vortex on it, interfered with if you had helicopters near you, it would do all sorts of strange things. But I don't think that's what it is. It could just be server side. Maybe it's the Southeast Asia server, perhaps. The frames are absolutely fine. It's just every now and again, it's like it takes a moment to stop and think. So a quick check, 9 minutes out. We can afford to increase the speed a little bit, although, whoa, be careful. It's very sensitive when you're on autopilot. I'm just using the hat switch on the stick just to increase the speed, the IS hold, and you can see those red lines just to the left of it. If I do that, you see they start to, there we go, start to come down. That's the point, there you go, that's the point at which you're over talking. We don't want to do that, it's very sensitive. And a real world pilot on the last video said that I would have been in trouble with the engineer because I allowed it to go into the red a little bit. Apparently just one minor touch in it is trouble. So it's quite often it's finding a balance. Interestingly, he was a real world H145 pilot, and he felt that it was a little bit aggressive at the moment in 2024. Lavanti, thank you for subscribing. Much appreciated. Great to have you along. So everything's looking good. It's interesting, the weather, the visibility today is absolutely fine. It looks really nice. What is deceptive is just how strong the wind is. But on takeoff, it didn't really seem to be an issue. This is such a nice, modern, stable helicopter that the wind has an effect, but it's much easier to deal with. Sparky in the 500 will certainly be feeling the wind a lot more. And I don't mean to be personal, old boy.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Okay, so there's the old Tor's getting a little bit worried. Don't worry.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
What I will do is I'm just using the beak trim on the collective now.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Just to very gently put us into a bit of a climb.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
All right, sweetheart, we heard you the first time. Should really be flying a little bit higher. I'm just going to keep that gentle climb in. I am very much aware that we've got some wind turbines coming up. Real world, you probably wouldn't come as close as I am, but I'm just looking to see how the autopilot copes with this gentle climb. So 4 minutes out, lads in the back getting the plasters ready, putting away the pot noodles and Snickers bars. That's a little bit close. No doubt any real world pilots in the comments now would have been saying, you would not go that close to a wind turbine. Have you any idea the effect it would have on the helicopter, and also just the danger of going near? I totally understand, and I do not mean to be disrespectful.
We will be first on scene.
There you go. So basically that's telling us that there's no ambulance, there's no other emergency services there, which you kind of expect because this is a oh, hello.
Watch out! Reduce collective now!
So that's what I'm talking about. We came over the brow of the hill and caught a gust, and that took us straight away into overtalk. So that is the danger of flying on autopilot when you're quite close to the edge of that overtalk. And you have to very quickly take control of it before your engine blows up. Lesson learned there really is either keep a much closer eye on it, anticipate maybe a gust of wind as you come over a ridge, or just don't fly quite so close to the edge like an idiot. Hey Ben, yes. H145, absolutely. That's really interesting, that occasional stutter.
500.
I'd love to know what's triggering that. I don't think it's the head tracking. I'm just looking at the head tracking sensor again. Probably something else.
I set a possible hospital destination for our patient. Infos are available on tablet. We
Where
can
it will take
confirm or
us.
change later.
Of course, one of the disadvantages of flying in Wales is it's, unless you're Welsh, it's almost impossible to pronounce a lot of the names. So I'll just say we're flying over that place. Teledig. Why do I say that in an Italian accent? Well, if you can identify that as an Italian accent. Yeah. Okay, so we're 2 minutes out now.
2 nautical miles from accident area.
So, if you don't know the mod, if you've not seen the streams before or seen this in use anywhere else before, what it does is it simulates a lot of the time as well. So, we're not doing a search and rescue on this one. We know the location of the casualty, so we don't have to do any kind of search pattern or anything like that. But it will simulate the time it takes on the ground to deal with the casualty. We are going to be first on scene, so the lads have got to get out, get to the casualty, see what his situation is, and stabilise him, ready to come back on the helicopter. And that takes a bit of time. So one of the things I love about this is that it simulates all these different steps. It's not a case of fly to point A, hover for 3 seconds, bing, mission complete, fly back. It's simulating so many different aspects of it, and it's kind of testament to the amount of detail and work that first of all HPG did when they built the whole mission setup, but also the work that Andrea has done with the Random and Anywhere.
Crew, we are approaching the landing
That is
site.
so strange that it doesn't look like the frames that are stuttering. It's almost like it's the view that's stuttering. So I wonder if it's something funny going on with the head tracker. Let's see if I can get that back up again. Right, let's see where he is. Now, you can't see this, but I've now got my screen is full of head trackery stuff. I'm just changing a setting just to try and tweak something. So I'm conscious that we're probably flying all over the place. Yes, we are, we're flying sideways. There we go, but still fully under control. Fully under control there. Right, let's come round. Where's the wind? The wind's over from there. The wind is 35 knots right now. So I'm just going to slide over this way a little bit, and let's see if we can find our farmer. Just reduce some heights. I will catch up with the chat in a minute. Okay, so he is down there. Can we get visual? Okay, let's... there he is. Okay, let's kill that. We're going to come round. Be very careful that we don't go into vortex ring state by descending too quickly to slow speeds, which we're not quite at the speeds to trigger that yet, but just going to gently bring us round, conscious of the high ground to the right here. We don't want to go banging into that. Careful. There we go. Right, let's come back. Lost sight of the casualty. I think that might be him there, or is that just a shadow on... Oh, there they are, I can see him. So it looks like we've got quite an incline there, but the flatter ground is down here. So kind of where Grumpy is now looks a little bit flatter, although actually the closer I get to it, I'm not so sure it is. So we might just have to land on the slope, which is absolutely fine with the Royal Air Force. We can do that. Wind is coming from the right. I want to try and get as close as I can. Yeah, there's not really much difference with that incline, is there? So I think we're just going to get as close as we possibly can to the casualty. Just be mindful of this wind. So we've got some quite high vegetation there, so I don't really want to stick it in there because we don't know what it's going to be. So we'll just get it as close as we can. There we go.
We are reasonably close.
I'm glad you think so, Sunshine, because you got to wade through all that, and I shouldn't have been distracted. So this is where it gets to be interesting, where you've got a slope like this. Your references for landing are slightly different because you haven't got... Oh, I'll tell you when I land. I need to shut up. There we go. A little bit rougher than I would have liked. Yeah, because you're landing on a slope. If you imagine you're coming down in the helicopter like that, you can have a good understanding, because the land is relatively flat, you can have a good understanding of, if you look and use your peripheral vision, it's nice flat. When it's a slope like that, when you come in and as you get closer, and especially as I was doing because I was looking at that line of vegetation,
Helicopter in position. Rear crew, you
it
are
looks
clear to
like
start
you're
operations.
tipping forwards, but you're actually not. So yeah, always makes it a bit interesting. Right, let's jump outside. I do love that 500. So there's the chaps. They're just getting out of the helicopter now. They're going to run over to the tractor. Where's our casualties? Obviously down in there somewhere. Is there someone there on the ground? No. I can hear him. Oh, there he is. No, that's not him. He's there somewhere. Hello, Anthony. I need to fly in Ireland sometime. I really do. The scenery over there is beautiful. Yeah, our farmer is down in there somewhere. Right, where's the chaps? There they are. Wading through the crops. They know no fear. And then they're going to find the patient, and then they're going to start working on him. And as I said, they're going to stabilise him, which means that there's going to be a little bit of a wait, and that's how it is in the real world. So let's just quickly open here. If we have a look at our screen here, It's going to give us a bit more information. 20 years male, farmer has been injured when his tractor tipped over. No rescue vehicles at location, we know about that. Symptoms, dizziness. So we know about that as well. Let's go to medical diagnostics. We've got patient assigned emergency code 2. 2 is immediate risk of serious injury. I'd say so, mate. You've got a tractor on you. And he's got patient conditions 56. So we've got a life score of 0 to 100. 0 is, let's face it, we're not required anymore. And 100 means, why are you wasting my time? So we're kind of somewhere in the middle there, which is not too bad. Quick check over here. Let's have a look at the VMS. It was just taking a while to catch up, but yeah, both engines are in idle. Fuel is good. Happy with that. Smashing. I'll leave that on for takeoff actually. Quick catch up with the chat. Let me. There we go. No, that's not locked off. Let's do that again. There we go. You can actually see this page is changing now. I don't know if you noticed that, but as our crew, as our doctor, HEMS is all about delivering specialised medical care. So instead of just picking up the patient and taking them to the hospital, what we're doing is we're delivering a doctor to the site, so the doctor can actually start working on the patient a lot earlier. And as they're doing that, we're getting some more information. So we've now got a heart rate, we've now got an oxygen saturation level, and everything else is as it is. We've also got his name now. That's the crazy thing, the amount of detail that Andre has put in this, because the doctor has said to him, "Here, mate, what's your name?" The farmer has said Dan Taylor in between grunting, and now we know his name. It's not important for us as the pilot as such, but it's just a lovely little detail that all adds to the immersion. Let's check the chat. I've jumped back into the 2024 Success U3. Glad to see performance improvements of VR, and they fixed the ground effect bug. Yeah, it is better, although strangely today we have got this weird, odd stutter that's appearing once in a while, but that could be it could be server side. In fact, guys, just as an experiment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to Western Europe. Okay, so I'm going to switch to the Western Europe server and just see if that has any effect. So doing that now. Western Europe. There we go. Hopefully that's not broken anything. Oh, right. Where did we get to? Sparky, love this helicopter. It is. Yeah, the 500 is a work of art. It really is. Grey would be great if we had a Sea King. Oh, grey. My dream is to fly that. A real, proper, fully simulated, study level Sea King would be something very, very special. I can't even begin to tell you. Oh, hello. So yeah, we're going to accept that. So we're going to Morriston Hospital, 101 kilometres. Okay. So it's interesting. It's giving us quite a distance to the hospital, but that's fine. We're big boys. We can take it. It's 54.7 nautical miles. I was kind of expecting it to send us to the Royal Shrewsbury Hospital. What it'll do is it will pick a. I think it actually picks a hospital where it's kind of appropriate to what the kind of mission that we're doing. So that's fair enough. I don't ask questions. I just go where the doctor tells me to. Ian, good morning to you. Anthony, up along the Wild Atlantic Way on the west coast of Ireland is gorgeous. Yeah, I have been to Ireland a few times, but I've never been there with with any kind of free time to actually do anything. I've only been there for work, but I would love to have a look at that. It does look fantastic. Yeah, Falconer, I saw that. I think a lot of people have mentioned it, so it's great to see that he's thinking of doing that.
Take care.
Okay, we've got to start concentrating on doing pilot stuff now. Okay, so we all on. We've got casualty. We've got chap in the back. Doctor is just about. Oh no, I think that's the doctor there actually. Lodi's getting on now. Come on, fella.
Cabin secured, ready to fly.
Okay, let's start concentrating for a moment. So we don't need that. We do want that. That's all good. Quick check on the VMS. Engines are good. We'll go engines to flight. Okay, quick obstacle check. Lots of trees way out in the front. We've got Chinook to the right of us. What a lovely sight that is, eh? We have got trees to the left at some distance. We've got trees to the right at some distance. But behind us, we are nice and clear, although I can see some rotors. One of the strange things that still seems to be the case in 2024 is that some helicopters, when they're up and running, you can't see the rotors moving. So I'm going to assume that that llama is engines running. So my intentions are to take off, do I believe it's a rate 1 takeoff. We're going to reverse slightly just in case we have engine failure. And then once we've proved that the engines are working, we can bob on to the hospital. I've got a blue line on the map. I've got a distance down in the down in there in the nav section, and everything else is fine with no warnings. Okay. Quick check again. Is that llama still there? Yeah, llama's still there. So I'm now going to lift and reverse. You can see from the HSI there. Sorry, not the HSI. Sorry, the artificial horizon. You can see just what a weird kind of attitude we're at. Keckers, how are you? Keckers has just joined the chat. He is the chap behind the fantastic radio voices that we're hearing. So the crew talking, all the comments that they're making, that sort of thing. He is the chap behind that. So it's great to have you along, sir. Okay, so let's gently lift. Wind is 24 knots, and as we can see, it's coming from our right. So quick check of that as we come off the slope. Just reverse back a little bit, everything's fine, engines are good. Let's turn into wind. Watch out for the Chinook. That's a big old chunk of metal to fly into. We certainly don't want to be doing that, so we'll just pass over him.
VTOS. VY.
Okay, that's all good. Okay, need to get a nice climb in. I'm watching the speed because, again, as we saw before, at the kind of speeds I'm flying at, it's very easy to very quickly get into an overtalk situation. But we do have a chap in the back who's rather poorly, so it's that balance between operating the helicopter safely and making sure that you're getting the guy in the back where he needs to be, because we have got a fair old distance to go, and one of the things that this does simulate is patient condition. So now that we've got him on board, it doesn't mean that everything's tickety-boo. His condition could well deteriorate. Let's get a bit more climb in. So yeah, because it's given us a hospital so far away, it does mean we're going to have a rather fair amount of time to chat, which is in some ways is quite nice. In some ways, it would be good to get some more action in. Yeah, we're probably not going to get a chance to do another mission, but don't go. Once we've got everything set up, we can have a bit of a chat, isn't it? So I'm just keeping an eye on the
500.
On the instruments there. So that's all good. We're above VY. We'll go. I think we'll go up to 3,000. Still very lucky with the viz is absolutely fantastic. But as you can see, we have a fair amount of wind on our nose, and that's the kind of winds that could very easily stick us into overtalk. And I ain't talking about what's coming out my mouth. Okay, let's hold it there, onto autopilot. We will couple it to the mission nav, and we are off. Controls, quick check that it's doing what it should be. I'll tell you what I will do. Let's just quickly check that it is actually, yeah, so it's got the right nav source. If you missed it at the beginning, you have to make sure that the for the missions to work in terms of being coupled to the helicopter, you have to make sure that you're using MSFS as the nav source. So we've got these lovely TDS GTNs here, but we're not actually using them for navigation. That's coming from the mission generator and what we have over here. C'est simple. Right, that's all good. So here we go. We can see here the mission status is saying on the way to the hospital. So that's what the matey boy here, our happy co-pilot, will have radioed through to the rescue centre saying that we are on the way to the hospital. So that kind of gives us our status. Quick check of speed. I am going to just see if we can tweak a bit more out of it. Blipping the collective trim, cyclic trim ever so slightly, just to, okay, that's getting a little bit too close. Stay there, stay there. When it's in this mode, I should say, I'm probably confusing things a bit by saying the cyclic trim. It's the hat on the cyclic. So when we're in this mode, when we are using the upper levels of the autopilot, the trim hat actually controls other things. So now, for example, my longitudinal axis is whatever that is, you know what I mean, is actually controlling the IAS. So we are probably, I'm just going to tweak it a little bit more. There we go. Right, let's get back to the chat again. Ian, I've never gotten into helicopters here in P3D. They're not the greatest. I totally agree, Ian. I only got into helicopters in MSFS. I did a couple of times fly the, I think it was the Black Hawk in P3D, but it was absolutely rubbish. Probably not helped by the fact that I didn't know how to fly helicopters at the time. Some might argue that's still the case, but I just P3D, it just wasn't great. And also the scenery in P3D is isn't quite as immersive as in MSFS, and of course now in 2024 it's better. So I guess the best way I can describe it, and this is only for me personally, is that it's a lot more rewarding to fly helicopters in MSFS, and also with the ability to fly missions like this. And I should stress, I haven't done career mode in MSFS 2024. I'll be completely honest, it's not something that interests me. I have got the MH60, I have tried the missions in that. Again, having flown this kind of mission scenario, which is very realistic, very detailed, with the random and anywhere, I don't know what kind of missions are going to come my way. It's a completely different experience, and it's very detailed, and it's quite a high level of simulation. And that it's actually doing this kind of thing that got me into helicopters in MSFS, and then from that I then started flying the Taugs hangars. So if you're looking to start, Ian, I can, and I know you're an experienced sim pilot, you know exactly what you're doing, you have a very highly technical understanding of aviation and simulator flying and that kind of thing. I would probably start with the Taugs Hangar 500. It's a two in the pack. There's the H500C and the OH6A. and they are really good simulations in terms of the physics and that sort of thing of a helicopter. And to me, it's a good way to learn. I learned to fly in this, not using the autopilot higher levels, and flying it with the cyclic trim release overrides held in most of the time, just to get a feel for how the helicopter is. But of course, it's a modern helicopter with these wonderful stability systems and that sort of thing. It doesn't mean that it flies on rails, but it means that it's easier to fly than something like the 500C. Yeah, so yeah, I would probably say for you, mate, that's probably where to start with it. I think you would find it a bit more rewarding, and then once you've done that, if you want to start flying missions and things, if you want to, you know, you can see you've got a full avionics suite here. You've got an there we go. So you see just there, I was talking about flying on the edge with flying on the edge with the speed and the torque, and just there we caught a gust, and it very quickly put us into over torque. So I've just changed that. I'll put us back onto autopilot, couple us back up again, and let's just make sure everything is stable. So that's the problem. If you're a little bit cheeky with the speed, it bites you on the arse. So yeah, sorry Ian, I was saying, so if you want to do, you can fly, you can do IFR, helicopter flying in this. It will fly an ILS, you can fly procedures in it. It's quite a capable helicopter, but for the raw grunt and helicopter physics, 500 is, the Taugstanger 500 is blooming lovely. It really is. Let's have a quick look outside. There we go, and there's Sparky in. Let's see if I can. Where have we gone? There we go. Just checking that. Sometimes when I'm using the camera controls, if I get too far from my own helicopter, it's like it loses its mind. So I'm trying to get. There we go. So here's Sparky in the 500, and it is a lovely helicopter. Really is beautiful. Which reminds me, and I bet this won't work. Let's try. Yeah, okay. I've forgotten to kill the labels. It's difficult. Labels are an immersion killer for me, but it's good to have them on so that you can see who is who. So, quick check. We are 32 minutes from the hospital. I should say at this point, again, if you know how this works, you know this anyway, but it's incredibly clever and it blows my mind. So the mission generator is looking at a map, and it can see where the hospitals are, and what it's going to do is pick a hospital with a landing pad. Now I don't know in the sim how that landing pad is represented. For all I know, it could be there we go, did it again.
$500.
Let's just get control. Okay, so I'm going to... Let's not fly it quite so fast, because that's obviously on a windy day like today. That's obviously going to cause us a few problems. And let's face it, for the real world helicopter pilots that are watching, yes, I know, you do not want to be suddenly dropping and whapping the helicopter around when you've got a casualty on board. I completely understand. I'm probably being a little bit too ambitious with the speed that I'm setting IAS at, considering the wind conditions today. It's not clever, and it's not smart. slight flight. My sim isn't loading where you all are, just where we landed. Oh, that's strange. That is strange. Could you show on the map where you all are? Western Europe server, don't see you guys. Okay, so let me just check everything's stable. We are here at the moment. So we took off from Welshpool, picked up the casualty, and we're just over here, heading to Swansea by the looks of it. Let's dial out on this display. Yeah, there we go. That is where we're heading, fella. There's no airports on the way, but you can, if you're in of course you're in 2024. What am I saying? You can spawn on the ground somewhere. Now that they've changed that. I mean, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. In 2024, the ground scenery detail is just wonderful. It really is. And now that they've added the small details like rocks and things as you get closer, it all adds to the immersion, and that's what it's all about. And let's get back on the stream. That was close. Thank God I realised. It wouldn't be the first time I've been quite happily flying along, not realising that all you can see is a map. We're on the Northwest Europe server. Is it Northwest Europe or Western Europe server? Yeah. Ian, do you get rated on speed of getting to a patient, or again so what it does, Ian, is it the patient state changes. So if I, for example, let me lock on medical diagnostic page. So this is how our patient is at the moment. So we've got a life score of 58. I want to say that's actually gone up a bit. We've got an overall code of 2, which is immediate risk of serious injury, and we've got the heart rate, and we've got the oxygen saturation level. So as we fly, that will change depending on the state of the patient. So, for example, if I decided now that we're going to go on a sightseeing trip, meanwhile he's in the back and he's getting affected by his injuries, then potentially that could have consequences on him. So once we have picked him up, the ideal is to get there as quickly as possible and as stable as possible in terms of not, chucking the helicopter around. Let's go back to maps and missions. There we go. That's the plan anyway. Let's just release that. There we go. So it's interesting, after switching to this server, that funny little stutter that we had before is gone. So it must have been something on the Southeast Asia server that was causing it, I'm guessing. What have we got over there? Missed it. That was the... I need to just zoom the map in a bit. Clarewood Dam. Sorry for any Welsh people if I've just killed it. No, I just saw the MH60 then for a moment. There it is. Yeah, I've got the MH60. I have flown it a couple of times. I've not flown the recent versions of it. It's a helicopter that I like the look of, but I was just a bit disappointed with the search and rescue missions, because it just seemed to be fly to a point, lower hoist, press the lower hoist button, press the raise hoist button, and off you go. Whereas this, hopefully, as you've seen, is quite in depth in terms of what it does. Right, so this is a 31 minutes from the hospital, so it's quite a long old jaunt taking us down to Swansea. Surprised it didn't take us to, you can see there, I mean, Shrewsbury is round about, actually it's, I don't know if that's that point there, but no, Shrewsbury is just a bit over there. So it's taken us a longer distance to the hospital, which I could have changed, by the way. I could have way back at the beginning. I didn't need to accept that. I could have chosen ultimately the random and anywhere-ness of this. The beauty of it is Andrea has given you the opportunity, if you want to override it. So I could have rejected that hospital, and I could have chosen Shrewsbury as the place we're going to go. But for the spirit of this mission, I wanted to really kind of take what it was giving us, and that is quite more realistic, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Although it does give us this rather long leg. Neil Braddon, this trumps career mode in 2024. Yeah, it does. It does. Kickers, you can teleport near the hospital if you want. I've never done that. I have never done that. Let's have a look. Teleport close to destination. Ah, okay. Good God. Okay, this has never happened before. This has never happened before. This is exciting. Okay, disconnect autopilot. We've got engine 2 failure. I have pressed the fire button. I've never practiced this. My God. Pardon me while I concentrate. Okay, so just for fun, oh yeah, we got smoke. Okay, concentrate on flying. I've never had this happen before. This is God, this chap in the back really is having a bad time. Not only does he have a tractor topple on him, he's now got a rescue helicopter with an engine fire. So I have chucked the fire extinguisher on. Just concentrating on that. Not worried at all. Okay. This is really interesting. Just when you thought it was going to be a long, mundane flight, I was just about to say that because of the people on the people that have joined and are flying with me, I can't teleport, and then that happens. Yeah, Kickers, you're absolutely right. I need to turn off the bloody engine, don't I? Shut down engine 1, 2. Do you know, it just goes to show, doesn't it? There's me saying, oh, I've never had this happen before. I should really blooming practice this kind of stuff. This is why real world pilots do it. So I've closed down engine 2. Let's get the VMS page back up on here so we can see what's going on. So now we're very much operating on a single engine. Plus we've got a guy in the back who's not very well. So no pressure at all. I'm going to turn off the autopilot. I thought I'd done that. There we go. So she can operate on one engine, but obviously we're limited now in terms of what power that we've got. And this is where I wish I had a checklist to hand so I could actually properly have a look at anything else that I need to do. So engine 2 is now fully closed down. Looks like we're still, yeah, we're still on fire. Doesn't look like the extinguisher has worked, probably because I kept the engine running. I'm at the point now where I'm thinking we should abandon ship. And I need to, let's have a quick look. Considering we've got a chap in the back, where's the nearest main road? Because we are right in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so I'm going to head over this way. Head for Llandrindod Wells. I'm going to give them the best chance I can. How interesting. My first ever engine fire in the H145. Wow. But that's what makes this interesting, that things can happen. Things can happen. Bear with me, Kickers.
500.
I'm on the. I'm going to show you on the screen, but I am on the. I'm on the alpha test that Andrea posted. What's the bug that you've seen, by the way? Or what did you spot? Is it the hospital distance, or is it the fact that I've got an
500.
engine fire? Come on. By the way, Kickers, do you no, I didn't kick. I didn't press teleport. I was just about to say that sorry, bear with me. I was just about to say that I can't because I've got people with me. So no, that was purely coincidence. I was about to say that I can't do it, and then all of a sudden I had the engine fire.
$500.
So I'm going to make the best of this as I can. So I'm going to try and land near Llandrindod Wells so that we're near population. There's a chance. So right now we'd be talking to the rescue centre saying you need to get an ambulance to Llandrindod Wells for this poor chap for his onward travel, because we are in a bit of a sticky situation. It was perfect timing, mate. There's Llandrindod Wells. Okay, so we're not going to mess around. I'm going to kill the tablet now. I obviously don't want to park a helicopter that's on fire in a populated area, so I'm going to go for that field next to the main road. Wind is over there, so that works out quite nicely. I've no idea how I can turn the sleigh bells off, by the way, so apologies for that. But it does go to show how the H145 quite happily operates on one engine, considering the amount of power needed to hover. There we go, we're down. Abandon ship! Yeah, overhead panel. I had a quick look up there, but I wasn't... Oh, maybe it's that. Is it? That's the test panel, isn't it? What if I... No. Nope, 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 nope. Audio, it's not that. Yeah, I don't know. I know that when you do the startup checks, you can, if you fiddle around with these, it will eventually go off. But I guess that's still because the engine's on fire. I mean, we are, I suppose, realistically, we are still on fire. The extinguisher has not worked, and yeah, actually, that's the point. Do you know what? Did he say we've got an engine fire? Did he say we've got an engine fire? For some reason, I seem to remember. Now you've said that, I almost seem to remember them saying it, but I'm not sure. Okay, right. Okay, so having not been in this situation before, what's the time? Should we do another mission? Shall we do another mission out of Welshpool? Why the hell not? So, guys that are following, what I'm going to do is head back to... I'm going to restart. Actually, shall I? Where are we on the map? Okay. Having not done this before, I don't know if it's going to work. So, no, I'm going to restart at Welshpool. Otherwise, what I was going to do was shut everything down, start the helicopter again, and then off we go. But it will be quicker if I just restart at Welshpool. So that's what I'm going to do. Although I don't know if the helicopter will still be broken, because there is some persistence in the H145. So hopefully, see what happens. See if the sleigh bells are still going. And then, yeah, hopefully we'll get one quick mission in. So, we're back again. Let's... I think I know what all that weird jerking was. I wonder if it's because I still had Duxford the dog out. Let's tidy him away. There we go. Okay, right. Let's have a quick look outside. We're not pouring smoke. Let's have a look at our maintenance. Everything looks okay there, but I am just going to do all maintenance options just to make sure. Let's have a look at failures. We haven't got any failures on. That's good. So I'm happy with that. So we just do the process again. Map submissions. We go mission library, random and anywhere. We are, oh yeah, kickers. We are on 0995 or 099562 alpha, which I'm pretty sure is the current test alpha. So we'll go for that. Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting, Ian. But you know what? And I know you will appreciate this. I know you will appreciate this. It does just go to show how when you're flying a study level aircraft, whether it's fixed wing or whether it's a helicopter, it does go to show that you do actually need to look at those emergency procedures at the back of the checklist. You do need to look at them. Because otherwise it can get a bit embarrassing. So just so that we don't have to fly a long distance, I'm going to wind that in a little bit, and also again, it's something I've never done before. But I think, can you select the hospital range? Seeing vehicles, destination. Destination hospital selection limited, yes. Valid places, so that's set to valid places. Okay, so there's nothing there. Yeah, there's nothing there. That's okay. I mean, this actually gives you an idea of just how many options we've got. And like I said, this is a free mod. It's a free mod, and he's built all this detail into it. It's just amazing. So we'll go back to main screen. Happy with that. Happy with that. Single player. Quick check that that's still set to there. That's absolutely fine. So now we turn the battery on. As I said at the beginning, you need to get the mission up and running before you turn the aircraft battery on. We'll have some lights on because we're going to start spinning things around. I'll select that. Turn the mission radio on. Cheers, Kickers. Much appreciated. Virtual Battle of Britain Memorial Flight. Hello. How the devil are you? We're flying a 202 Squadron.
Frank, good morning.
Search and rescue helicopter. So we're keeping it per ardua ad astra. Right, so that's all good. That's all fine. What are we looking at here? We've got power up test okay. Can acknowledge all that. Crew, I've done it again because I was too busy
Fuel tanks are almost full.
looking at that. But the crew walk out to the helicopter.
If you need refueling, please ask.
Okay, check the fuel state. Fuel state is fine, so I'm happy with that. Happy with that. I'm now going to connect the radio. I tell you what I'm going to do. We have a subscriber, Joe Pete. Thank you for subscribing, much appreciated. Right, manual mission selection. I'm going to do search and rescue, and I'm going to do. Missing hiker on a mountain. Let's do that. And then I'm just happy to select that. There we go. Received a call about missing hiker. Search and rescue is required. That's us. That's what we're here for. We're going to accept that. And let's see what it gives us. Ah, that's interesting. Now it's given us another long distance again. Okay, Keckers, I don't think I'm doing anything wrong because I think
Cabin secured. All set to proceed.
Ah, no, it's reset. Okay. Ah, right. So the original destination in there was the one from the previous mission. So it's cleaned all that up now, and it's loaded in, and we're doing search and rescue 8.1 nautical miles away, which is blooming fantastic. What have we got? At least one injured, waiting for information. Received a call about a missing hiker. Search and rescue is required. 202 Squadron to the rescue. Search and rescue received position is the last position before contact loss. Yeah, that's fine. Exact location is actually unknown. So if we open that up on the map, we get rid of that. We follow the aircraft. And then if I just wind it out. So that's where we're going. And that red circle is kind of the area of our search and rescue operation. So that's all good. We've got our mission. We've got no errors in that, which is fantastic. Now it's over to you, my friend, because you need to hop out. We're going to start the engines. I've got some lights on to start warning people that we're going to start whapping around some heavy metal. We started 1, 2 last time, so this time we'll start 2.
Preparing for engine starting sequence.
1.
2, 1.
There we go. I've received a new friend request. Do you know what? I never use the friend thing in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I never use it. So whoever that is, I will have a look. I promise you, I will have a look. Okay, he's now in position. So let's go for engine 2. Let's have a quick check of the battery. Battery is fine. We've got enough juice. I'll leave the numbers on actually. There we go. See, that MH60 does look rather nice, doesn't it? It would be wonderful if you could fly that with missions like this. That would be quite a nice little challenge.
GPU disconnected. Ready to go. Good day.
Thank you, Frank. Where's he gone? There he is. There's Frank with his GPU. Frank, be careful, sunshine. Oi, 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 oi. There he goes, taking his fire extinguisher for a walk. Concentrate. So, M1 is rising and we have got
Engine
oil
started
pressure and
successfully.
everything else
Moving
is
to other engine.
marvellous. How wonderful.
Engine clear.
So now we go for engine 1. I'm still chuffed to bits that we had an engine fire before. It's stuff like that. It's very much like the A2A AccuSim thing, where you don't know what's going to happen. It keeps you on your toes. And now that I've had an engine fire, my first ever engine fire in the H145, that now will forever make me think, oh blimey, what could happen? It's brilliant. Okay,
Hold on,
so
performing leak checks.
he's doing the leak checks. We can now get everything else going. So we'll have transfer pumps on, avionics on, standby battery on, DC reception, LABCS to pilot, pitot on. I'm going to put the strobe on, and I will put the landing light on at this point as well. And everything else is tickety-boo. Now, Kickers, I don't know if you're still there, my friend, but when we started the first mission before, and I did take screenshots of the debug, when the co-pilot got on.
TARS. System test okay.
all good.
Okay, it's done it this time. It got stuck on waiting for co-pilot to board, but it hasn't done it this time. Oh, right. Blah 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 blah. Virtual RFBBF. I'm very well. I'm glad you are well. I'm all good, thank you, my friend. Hope all is good with you. I hope the squadron are doing well. Slight flight. Oddly, I don't normally have a problem in group flights with model matching, but everyone is in the Huey. Oh, okay. I'm just guessing. Just check your settings. I know with the latest update, it changed some of my settings. So maybe your aircraft, multiplayer aircraft quality, or whatever the setting's called, has changed, and it's put you down on a lower level, so you're not getting so much variety. Guy, how are you? Nitrous, good to see you. Right. Okay. So yeah, Kickers, it wasn't just the text. There was no. It wasn't coming up with a route. It literally everything had frozen. Had there been a route up there, I would have carried on flying it, but there was no route. But I'll, as I say, I'll check the screenies afterwards. Right, so that's all done. That's all good. We are in idle. I'm going to turn on all these lovely jubblies. Quick check over here. Have we got any other warnings? We haven't. As sometimes happens, we've got a white line on the route. We have no distance information there. So first thing I'm going to do is double check that we have MSFS set as the navigation source. We'll come back to maps and missions. That's still white. That's still not showing any distance. Cycle the TDS. For some reason, if you cycle the TDS GTNXI, it kind of puts everything back into place. Now we're all good to go. Engines to flight. Checking the collective lever again is down where it should be, so we don't have any nasty surprises. Guy, you're flying a tube line. I didn't know you flew tube liners. Oh, we got a Huey. There's another good one. Ian, if you're still around, Taugs, Hangars, Huey is another great helicopter. For similar reasons. It's good old school physics. Okay, wind is 23 knots from 195. Obstacles are buildings to the left, building behind, helicopter building in front, clear over there. So my intention is to lift, we will hover taxi round, and then hover taxi round to the runway, and we'll use that. Do it a bit differently this time. Quick check, no issues. Let's just move that there. Actually, I'm very conscious having done that, but I probably should still have the VMS up while we are doing takeoffs and all that sort of thing. So this is good practice of low speed handling. Shout for him. Shout for them. We've got here we've got the Chinook, backup Chinook, always very useful. Carries the tea and medals and biscuits. Give them plenty of berth. Watch out for the llama. There's the llama, that's another lovely. To be honest, anything Taug's Hangar is a great helicopter to fly. Okay. Just keep it coming round. Incidentally, if you go onto YouTube and look for, watch out for the 500. If you go onto YouTube and look out for ITV Rescue, there are a good collection of the videos from the old 1980s documentary, kind of fly on the wall documentary, where ITV went on board with 202 Squadron at Lossiemouth, and it's got some, it's got a big mixture of missions in there, including the Piper Alpha disaster. It's an old video, but it's absolutely fascinating. And it was made a few years after I'd moved back down south. Okay, let's get up to VY at least, please. Just watching the lines over there.
VY.
I'm still chuffed to bits we had that engine fire. It certainly made it interesting. It also then, excuse me, it also then presents a whole load of questions about what would you have done if that was a real world flight. We'd fired our extinguisher bottle, it hadn't worked. We've got a very sick patient in the back. What would we do? Would we land straight away and then hope that the emergency services can get to us quickly enough for the patient? Because that was the consideration, it's the patient. Had we not had a patient on board, let's face it, I would have just stuck it down then and there. Once the fire extinguisher didn't work, we're not going to mess about. But it felt like the right thing to do to give the patient the best chance. However, you could also argue that by flying a burning helicopter, I wasn't really giving the patient the best chance. So it's interesting, it does raise questions. And I know that there are some real-world HEMS pilots that watch the stream sometimes. I'm very fortunate for that because quite often some of the information they give is absolutely priceless. So I'd love to know, if you are watching this and you're a real-world HEMS pilot, what would you do in that situation? Yeah. Huge amount of respect for people that do this in the real world, by the way. I know sometimes I joke around a bit on these streams, but I do so with a huge amount of respect for the real crews, because as I've oft said, it's one thing concentrating on flying a helicopter in all weathers. It's another thing doing that, but also having someone in the back who is in a very poor state of health, potentially deteriorating. And if you watch those ITV rescue videos, I'm not going to say any more, but there is one in particular that absolutely stands out, where the pilot, I can only imagine what was going through his mind as he was flying. When you watch it, if you watch it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But the responsibility of having a life in the back that is deteriorating.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
The responsibility of having a life in the back.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
And safely operating a helicopter is just something
Terrain
else.
ahead. Pull.
Yeah, flying with that Torzon in the mountains is interesting.
We will be first on scene.
Okay, so I'm just going to pop us onto the autopilot.
Terrain.
I'm just going to couple, and I'm going to turn that off because I know that as we come in, doing search and rescue. Yeah, let's get to the right page. Doing search and rescue, that's going to be pinging off all the time. So I'm going to inhibit that for the time being and just make sure we keep a good lookout. Yeah, Guy, brilliant. I should say, Guy works with historic helicopters. I was saying at the beginning, Guy, that is the helicopter you guys now look after. And he works with a lot of real-world helicopter pilots. So yeah, it'd be good to know, mate. It'd be good to know. Sparky, do you know, it's funny, I have thought of that, but I don't... I have thought of that before.
500.
And I'm not saying it's something I wouldn't do, but I don't consider myself good enough to do it at this point in time. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of ideas that I've had. The Royal Air Force Benevolent Fund, and the thing with air ambulances is which ones you pick. But no, I totally understand what you're saying. Okay, let's pick up a bit more speed now. I still can't believe we had an engine fire before. That's amazing. It's the kind of thing that only happens on a stream. I love it. Okay, so we're coming into the search pattern now. Now, what I don't want to do, and I'm going to try and without seeing it. There we go. I've just minimised little nav map because little nav map will actually show you where the assets are on the ground, and I don't want to see it because I want to do a search and rescue. So the first thing I'm going to do is fly to the last known location because that seems the sensible thing to do, right? Once we've flown there, I'll then start flying search and see what we can pick up. One of the beautiful things about this mod
500
is that my crew are also going to look out as well because I'm busy doing the pilot thing, and let's face it, sometimes it's not easy to be able to really focus on looking for someone on the ground, but my crew will help me do that, which is fantastic. Okay, just watching the... Just noticed there as we came over that ridge, I don't know if you saw it, but the collective setting on the power setting on the left surged a little bit. So I'm going to fly it manually now. Yeah, it's funny, Kickers, I've thought of doing that before because it's kind of handy that the helicopter will do that for you. Okay, so we're now over there, and I'm going to just keep it going on this heading, and then we will waft around, for want of a better phrase. So yeah, you can cheat if you've got a little nav map up and running. You can see the assets on little nav maps, so you don't have to find them. But I've now hidden that screen, as I say, because that would be cheating. Ian, it's Mark 1 eyeball in this situation. Some of the missions there is a locator. For example, downed aircraft, or some of the other missions you can tune into 121.5, and there is a marker beacon. In a situation like this, we're relying on me and the crew to actually spot him, and sometimes it's not that easy. This kind of terrain we're in at the moment isn't too bad, but sometimes when you're up in the mountains, you've got no reference of how big a human being is, so your eye isn't tuned into what you're looking for. And as someone once said, if you've got say you've got mountain rescue in sight in the area, you can see them and you can kind of get an idea of how big a human being is. and then that gives you an idea. So I'm just going to come over here. As Keka said, with the H145, with the TDS rather, you can punch in a search and rescue pattern and it will fly it for you. Now that's interesting, it's just come up with the hoist operations. That makes me wonder if I'm a little bit near. So sometimes with these casualties, sometimes they're kind of carrying like a brightly coloured bag. But right now, as you can probably tell, I'm more relying on my crew to keep an eye out, because I'm just trying to fly a bit of a circular pattern. I've done flower petal patterns, or there is the traditional search and rescue kind of pattern. But I'm just going to try this one purely because I'm actually trying to save a bit of time. So we've got some rocks, I don't know if that's rocks or livestock down there. But I'm just going to keep bringing it round. I've seen your message, Lars, but I can't read it at the moment. I will check it once we're on the ground. So bear with me. Yes, Ian. It's kind of a balance between not dawdling and but being able to see the casualty. Now I came in a bit there, so I'm just going to bring us out a bit. Hiking doesn't necessarily mean. Sometimes there's little clues, like if you're doing a cliff rescue, then that's a good clue as to where someone might be, but in a situation like this they could literally be anywhere within the search radius. So let's come back over here. I don't know why, I just had this weird feeling because of the road pattern. I thought maybe if he was following the roads, maybe he might be up there, but it is not the case. So let's come back down again. Cheers, Geckers. One of the things I should say, and I'm not just saying it because Keckers is in, but what I love about this mod and the other mods associated with it, like the voice pack that Keckers does, is these guys are working on it all the time, making improvements, adjusting things. The radio effect is a new thing that Keckers has put in on the voice. There's always improvements being made, and it is just stunning. It really is. Okay, I'm going to continue around here. We're about to cross our original path. My spidey senses have got us nowhere so far, so we're going to head more up into this kind of territory. I suppose it's quite possible, if he's hiking, that he's actually come up here. I'm just going to follow that loop round that I was doing. Again, this is what I love about this. You do actually have to search. It's not a fly to point B, press button A, triggers response Y. It's incredibly immersive. you know, I just realised I've not installed the latest Bijan update, because he's just done an update, hasn't he? With made some changes. Should have done that really. Note to self: make sure you update everything. Well, this hiker is certainly giving us the runaround. Check where we are. Ah, oh no, it's livestock. Cows in the field. Cows in the field, not really helping. Let's keep that speed down. Chaps in the back are very quiet. So I'm just going to keep this turn in just so we stay around the circle. It's actually a great way of learning to fly helicopters, this. Or, I should say, a great way of practicing flying helicopters. When you're doing missions, it does, you know, there's a lot of manoeuvring, handling, all that kind of stuff. For example, initially with any missions where we were doing any kind of hoisting, I wouldn't put it onto autopilot. I'd manually fly it and hover doing the hoisting, because that was such a good way of focusing the mind and all that kind of stuff, and understanding the relationship between all the controls. So we're about to come back on ourselves again, and still no sight of our mystery hiker. So let's keep it on. We don't give up. Oh, a gust of wind there. Steady on. So I think what I will do now is we will come in a little bit. So similar kind of thing, I'll fly a circle. Just going to join up with where we were before, because I've actually been in a situation before where it's very similar to this, and you think, oh, well, it's not going to be here, is it? Because I've already been here, and then all of a sudden, ping, you find them. So I will kind of close that loop, just so we're being thorough. Really lucky with the visibility. This is real world weather today, and as I said before, it's all good apart from the wind. Okay, so let's tighten. Tighten that up a little bit. It is an interesting thing, though, talking about the relationship, or rather the balance between speed and time and thoroughness. You know, there's that feeling of, because we know we've got a patient on the ground somewhere, we don't know what condition they're in, but that feeling of you know, wanting to get there quickly and pick them up. I'm just going to drift over this way a little bit, just watching the line. You can do, Ian, as I said, the TDS down there, you can actually set that up on a search and rescue pattern as we're flying over some lumpy bumpy terrain and all that sort of thing. Rather than flying a set kind of pattern, I'm just manually wafting it around a little bit within the search area circle, flying it as circles rather than as a like a scan pattern, a traditional scan pattern. Bit of both. So just before I don't know if you heard me, I was talking about I went to those where those roads were. Actually, it was that bit over there, because I thought potentially there might be a hiker there. And I was saying that there are some missions where it's a bit more obvious, like for example, if you've got someone who's fallen down a cliff in a search area, then you search the cliffs in that area, so it's a little bit more obvious. The thing with a hiker is a hiker could potentially be hiking along the roads, or he could be hiking in the forests, or he could be hiking in the trees, he could be hiking anywhere, so it's a little bit more tricky. And again, that's one of the great things about this random and anywhere, is that different missions give you different scenarios, different things to deal with, different things you've got to think of. Okay, I thought I saw something then, but obviously not. Matthew, thank you for subscribing, my friend, much appreciated. Bit of turbulence there. Coming over the top here a little bit low. Expecting a little bit of turbulence on the other side of the ridge. Let's reduce speed a little bit. There's Dunder Mifflin on the hill. Ooh, a bit of turbulence then. Ian, you are asking some good questions. Yes and no. So in it, I have not yet seen a search and rescue for a lost hiker or a casualty where they fire off a flare. So I'm talking about a missing person. I've not seen a flare. There are flares, but they're more where the and it's something you can activate. I actually have them turned off because I'd rather not have the additional visual aid, which I know probably sounds a bit counterproductive, but you can. Hello? No. You can have flares on for certain missions. Is the long and short of it. But in a mission like this, which is simulating someone who's just gone out hiking and gone missing, no, they're not carrying flares. They're probably carrying a nice selection of granola bars, but no flares, unfortunately. Okay, so we'll just keep this circular flight in. Interesting that we've not picked him up yet. I had the livestock turned off before SU3 because of the FPS issues, but now that that's back, now that that seems to be working okay, Every now and again I see something and think that could be it, but it's not. It's a coup. Check. Okay, speed's okay, height's okay. Come on, where are you? Where are you, Mr. Hiker? And again, I love the fact that we are all waiting, that we are all searching for this person. Wouldn't it be easy if we just flew to a location and magically within a minute they suddenly appeared? This is what it's about. This is search and rescue. It makes you work for it sometimes. Sometimes you're lucky and you just fly in on a heading and bang, you know, you find them, but not in this case. So I'm just looking down at our map. What I'm going to do is that's interesting. Okay, I'm just going to head over here because there's that section up near that cliff that we didn't get quite close to. Yes, they're doing, yeah. So I'm looking out, but also my crew are looking out, and if the crew, and I'll be honest with you, the crew always see them before I do. Okay, so the crew have spotted something, because we've got that square with the dot has come up, so that means that the crew have spotted something, and we will get an audio cue fairly shortly, but for some reason we always get the display symbol come up before the audio cue. But they've seen something.
I believe we found something. Check on tablet. 12 o'clock. Yes, confirmed. We found our target.
So just for the hell of it, we could land here. Why don't we do some hoisting?
Close.
So let's begin hoisting.
Rear crew, prepare for hoist operations.
So there they are. Can you see there's a yellow bag and there's someone laying on the ground there. Now obviously, and I say this because it's the kind of thing people will say in the comments, yes, realistically we would land. We don't need to hoist at this point, but I'm going to do some hoisting just because we can, and to do something a little bit different. So just gently getting us into a good position to hoist. So I'm going to put it onto hover autopilot.
We are too high.
So now we can come down a bit. We've stabilised the hover.
Position is good.
So all I've got control. Well, yeah. So I'm using collective. So I still have full control over height. There's no autopilot on height, and I can use the cyclic trim, beep trim, to make minute adjustments left, right, forward, backwards, as you can do in the real thing, and of course even the Sea Kings used to be able to do that. So there's our chap going down. Our very brave airload master Witchman. So he's probably going to hop on now as well. See, it simulates the time. It's not an instant. Down he goes, up he comes. Down he goes, up he comes. It's the time is all being there we go. So we've got a doctor and a paramedic going down. Let's pop back down. Here he comes. Going back up again. Oh no, he clung onto the winch a little bit longer. He's obviously enjoying my flying so much he wanted to jump in. Okay, so hoist is clear.
Hook is in. Hook boom is retracted. You are free to leave hover.
Okay, so quick check. I now autopilot off. I've got full control and we're just going to move off. Staying in the hover uses a huge amount of power, so we're burning through a lot of fuel, and also we are putting a lot of stress on the helicopter. So once we're flying, of course we're picking up a bit of transitional lift, so it's a little bit easier, and also it's nicer for the guys down on the ground because they haven't got some idiot flying above them in a giant hairdryer. So we'll just loiter. It'll now simulate the time it takes to do what they need to do. You can see down at the bottom it's still saying medic on ground, helicopter clear, free to leave hover. So we'll get a signal at some point to say that they're ready to hoist again. So we'll just laze around, doing our thing. Blimey, it's getting hot in here without being able to open the window. Now, who was it? Someone. Where is it? Lars. Right. I think I will love this heli if only I can get it to work. No collective. Tried everything, just weren't unable to load missions also, and there ain't much help to get about this. Yeah, I don't know, Lars. I mean, the symptoms that you've got there, it could be a whole host of things, but and I'm sure a lot of them you've already tried, but I would definitely check whatever you've got collective bound to and make sure that you've got no conflicts with other controllers to the same binding. I mean, I've got the Whirlpool collective, which doesn't come with any kind of automatic binding within MSFS, but I know, for example, my Bravo quadrant potentially could have a collective setting on throttle 1, which can, you know, mess with things. So I would just check for that, just to make sure that you've not got something going on there.
Life signs are fading.
Unable to load missions. I would check, first of all, make sure you've got the action pack installed correctly, and get on their Discord. If you're not on their Discord, head over to the HPG Discord. It's really good and they are very helpful, so hopefully that will help it. But yeah, it could be a whole host of things. Okay, so we're getting called back now. So I'm just going to loop us round. Keep that descent in. So when you're doing this kind of stuff, you've got to be very careful not to get into a vortex rotor state situation. You can be so fixated on the outside world that you forget the basics, and you suddenly find yourself plummeting down to the ground because you're caught in a vortex. Just going to gently come around.
Meters. 20. 10.
Okay, back
We are
into
too far.
Right. 7. Backward. 3. Left. 2.
Here we go.
Height is
Left.
good.
4.
Hold position. Stand by. Hoisting preparations are in progress and nearing
Okay, quick
completion.
check.
Set hover.
There he is. There's our
We are
chaps.
too high.
Got the casualty loaded up. Just needs to come down a little bit.
Left. 4.
Hold position. Hoist 3 to helicopter.
Sometimes the height will just drift ever so slightly. So we've got 3 coming on board. That's our doctor, our paramedic, and
Opening
our...
door, preparing for hoist operations.
There we go. Door open.
Hoist boom extended. Hoist is running down.
There's the hoist. So we'll look at it from the pilot's perspective.
Hoist on ground. Personnel is getting hooked. Hoist
Now,
is running up.
did you see the helicopter suddenly started sinking then? That is the weight of the casualty onto the hoist. So you have to be ready for that. There we go.
Hoist is up. Personnel is strapped in.
Back. 1. Left. 3.
So we got one more to go. Phew.
Hoist is running down.
Guy, we are on the Western Europe server because the Southeast Asia was causing a few issues. Well, I say it was causing a few. Once I switched to Western Europe, there was like an odd
Hoist on
stutter every
ground.
now and again.
Personnel is getting hooked. Hoist
And
is
we are
running up.
very quickly, oh, I can look at it now, can't I? There we go. Little nav map. We are just here west of Welshpool.
Hoist is up. Personnel is strapped in.
Okay, we're all good to go. Everyone's in, everyone's happy. Just need to wait for you to close the door. When you're ready, he's enjoying the view. There we go.
Hook is in. Hook boom is retracted. You are free to leave hover.
Okay,
Cabin secured. Ready to fly.
so cyclic trim release on, and let's prepare to depart autopilot. Wind from the west. Say wind from the west, wind from the left.
20.
Right. That was a little bit savage. Kicking the anti-torque pedal there. I'd get told off for doing that. So we're just going to pick up some transitional lift. Quite heavy now. We've got plenty of fuel, and also we've got our casualty on board now. And now let's turn on course. How lush and green everything is, isn't it? And let's see if we can get to a hospital without an engine fire. Okay, so that's all good. Happy with that. We are going to the Robert Jones and Agnes Hunt Orthopaedic Hospital, which is only 9 minutes away. I'm going to put her on autopilot. I'm not going to connect up to the mission nav right now. We're just going to intercept that blue line. Just try and keep it all moving forward. Happy with the speed where it is. Happy with altitude. That's absolutely fine. So yeah, we are heading over here. Oswestry. So Welshpool, where we started off, flown over here, and then on to Oswestry. Oh, let's catch up with the chat. Lars, checked for conflict binding, nothing. Might do a sim reinstalled, and then, yeah, I don't know if you need to go that far, mate. I don't know if you need to reinstall the whole sim. It's probably something, as often is the case with these things, it's something quite simple, but nonetheless quite annoying as well. So let me get this right. You've got no collective, and you can't load missions. So collective, two separate things. Collective, just, yeah, I mean, I know it's annoying when people keep saying, have you checked your bindings? Of course I've checked my bloody bindings! But that's the only thing I can think of right now. That, you know, the collective needs to be set to the collective access in the simulator. If there's no other things that are conflicting with it, then I'm not sure what could, you know, what the issue there could be. With the missions, double check you've got the operations, getting blown around a bit there, watching that power setting just in case. With the missions, I would double check that you've got the Hype Operations Center, that you've indexed the missions so that you've got the latest missions loaded up. That's something else you could have a look at. And yeah, just double check you've got the action pack installed. There's some fairly kind of easy things to kind of rule out to start off with. Getting bounced around quite a bit. What is the wind? Wind is now 28 knots. Oh wow, it just went up to 37, 39, 38. So yeah, it's fairly gusty, fairly windy today up here for our little helicopter. See, we're getting blown around a fair bit, but the autopilot is handling it marvellously. I'm not going to over-egg it. Oh, he said that and then he goes and does it. I'm going to leave speed there. I've got a feeling that if I put it any higher than that, we're going to catch a gust and then we're going to have over-torque. And we don't want to do that. Let's have a look outside, eh? Let's turn the labels back on. Whoa! Okay. There we go. Yeah, okay, just checking that's still connected up. There we go, we've got Grumpy, Nitrous. Wow, there's quite a few. Good God. Quite a few. And this is just a beautiful repaint, isn't it? Just a gorgeous repaint. Good old 202 Squadron helicopter. I just noticed then she was rearing up a little bit, which made me think something was going to happen. You are Ian as the as the pilot. So you are ultimately the aircraft commander, but you obviously have a team working with you that are doing various different things, and as with the real thing, you can't necessarily do something until the crew have finished doing what they're doing. So for example, I don't know if you saw that where we started the mission at Welshpool, they're telling you when the cabin's ready to go. They're telling you when they're telling you what's happening, and you know, when the casualty is in there. But ultimately, you're the commander. You're making the decisions. I think it's one of the interesting things about this kind of flying, actually. You know, an aircraft commander, ultimately it's the captain of the helicopter, but we've got a very highly qualified doctor on board who is going to be obviously the guy who knows what the score is with the state of the patient. But ultimately, you as the pilot, you're the guy that's responsible for it. So we are 3 minutes out from the hospital. I'd said it some time ago, so it might be worth repeating again. The mission mod can see helicopters, can see hospitals with helipads. What it can't see is what Asobo have done with it. So sometimes you can fly to a hospital that has a helipad in real life, but Asobo have put an autogen building on it, or a tree on it, or something like that, and then you have to kind of adapt and improvise, which is what makes it fun. So I've never been to this hospital at Oswestry before. I have absolutely no idea what we're going to face in terms of the I'm going to couple this up now. I just realised we've intercepted the line so we can come on. I've no idea what we're going to face in terms of a helipad, so it'll be interesting to see. It's always part of the fun. I remember the Akrotiri stream that we did. There was a dirty great big shed on the helipad, so we had to land nearby, and luckily it was in enough distance that it would trigger the casualty being unloaded, and the hospital staff doing what they need to do. So yeah, 1 minute out now. I'm going to take control of the helicopter, so
2 nautical miles from the hospital.
there we go. Reared a little bit as we went on to so we've got an option there, unload to ambulance. If we wanted to, if we didn't want to fly all the way, we could just dump him to an ambulance. So you can customize an awful lot, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it this way. Wow, it's getting very technical in the chat. Guy, do you know what? It's an interesting point. I agree with you. It was interesting watching, if you watch the ITV rescue episodes, it quite often feels like it's the right seater who is in charge.
Destination in sight. Medical crew is waiting on landing spot.
That's just kind of how it feels. I remember the one where they had the whiteout and they had to land in the field, and you've got Flight Lieutenant John Prince doing his thing, and he's very much in charge of that helicopter and the mission, and he's sitting in the right seat, but maybe that was just a different situation. So looking at that, there we go, there's the helipad. Right, wind is there. Going to kill the tablet now. Be careful, we almost went into vortex ring state there, precisely as I said before, because we were too fixated on the ground. So we're coming into the helipad, wind is 32 knots. I need to come around some more. I want to be landing into wind, just like fixed wing. Sparky landing nicely on the... Oh, there we go. Again. And again. Interesting. Okay, we're going to do that again. Some interesting behaviour there. It was very quickly going into vortex ring state. In quite an aggressive manner. And in a way that it doesn't do normally, so I'm just going to have another look at that. Could be the weather conditions. And again. So let's just do another approach. Okay. Right, bear with me. This is really weird. So what's happening? I'm going to do that again just to see if I can repeat it. It got to a point where all of a sudden the helicopter went up. I lowered the collective to compensate, and then it's almost like it moved over that spot, and then it went into a vortex ring state because of course I'd lowered the collective. That's what it feels like anyway, but I'm just going to see if I can repeat that, see if it'll do it again. And that would explain the weird behaviour before. I think there's that little ridge there, and it's almost like it's seeing something there and it's changing the behaviour. I should just be careful of the Huey. Let's come round to him. Yeah, it kind of did it there, but I kind of bumped over it a little bit, which wasn't great, but...
Rear crew, prepare for ground operations.
There we go. Interesting. It's almost like this, the shape of the ground, or there was something funny going on over there. Let's have a look. Round about here. Maybe it's where that ridge was, I don't know. But it was almost like all of a sudden it was lifting and then trying to compensate with the collective, and then... But anyway, we're down. So here we go. We've got, here's the hospital crew. They're going to do their thing. Just quickly check. Yeah, I'll put the engines into idle. Turn the landing light off now. Right. Quick catch up with the chat. Yeah, it's interesting you say that, guy, because it's it looks quite nice, doesn't it? But the wind is quite gusty and quite strong. So you can see there, my crew are talking to the hospital crew, and let's just open that. There's the casualty. They're now going to transfer the casualty from our gurney onto the hospital gurney. Like so. And then what will happen is like I said before, it simulates all the time stuff that's going on.
To the hospital and is safe.
So we've done the handover in terms of from the helicopter, but what's going to happen now is that the hospital crew will obviously take the patient into the hospital, and our crew will go with them. You can't see them because they're wading through the long grass. This is kind of what I mean. I mean, we're lucky in a way because this helipad isn't too bad. I've seen a lot worse. At least the helipad itself isn't obscured, but we've got this grass around it. And there goes our crew. So this is where the doctor is going in with the I guess hospital porters or whoever. They'd go into A&E and they'd explain to them, okay, this is you know, John Doe, picked him up, this is how we found him, this is his condition, this is what his heart rate is, this is what his oxygen rate is, oxygen saturation level is, this is what we've given him a couple of aspirin and a jockey bicky, and then the hospital crew know exactly what work we've done on him, so they can then continue the work after. Now, and it simulates this part of it, so you see it says skip paperwork there. What we'd actually really do, if I was doing this on my own now, I'd close the helicopter down, I'd actually go and make a cup of tea. In real life they'd probably go in and find the canteen and get a cup of tea, and then once the doctor's done his thing, we would head off. As we're streaming, I'm not going to put you through that process. I am going to call it a day now on the stream. It's it's 20 to 1 here in the UK. Time for a spot of lunch and all that sort of thing. But yeah, I hope you found it interesting. It's certainly been an interesting stream for me. It's always interesting when different things happen. You know, and we've seen the engine fire, which was definitely not planned. So that was quite interesting to deal with. That's given me the kick up the arse required to you know, learn the procedures properly for that, because it's never happened before to me, and now that it has happened and I had to guess my way through it, which is far from ideal, next time I need to know exactly what to do. So that's given me the impetus to go to the back of the checklist and learn the proper drills for doing that sort of thing, because let's face it, that's why we practice, innit? Sensible thing to do. Anyway, let's just close that off there, turn off the head tracking. There we go, brilliant, smashing. Anyway, as I say, thank you ever so much for joining. It's been a huge pleasure having you along. Thanks to all the guys that flew along with me. I hope it was an interesting flight for you as well. Certainly with that wind, it would have been interesting in some of the other helicopters. You know, the 500, certainly the Huey as well. You would have felt it, no doubt. But yeah, it's been wonderful having you along. Nice chilled out Sunday morning stream with an engine fire. What more could you ask for? Anyway, I look forward to seeing you on the channel again very soon. Take care now. Bye bye.